Good morning, my dear students. How are you? I hope that you are all fine. I am teacher Ala, and I will start a new math period with you on today, Tuesday, March 31, 2020. Bring your pencils and your notebooks and start recording your notes with me. Our subject for today is about understanding tenths. In this period, we have two objectives. The first one is to write tenths as decimals, and the second one is to understand the equivalence between one-place decimals and fractions in tenths. Together, inshallah, we will try to understand both of these objectives. As a quick revision, I want you to look at this shape and write down the fraction for the shaded parts. Remember that shaded parts means colored parts. And remember that to write the fraction of the colored parts, the number of colored parts will be up and the number of all parts will be down. Write your answers down and continue the video with me. I think all of you got this answer, 1/10. We can use the fractions to describe the colored parts in the previous shape. Look at these fish. There are 10 fish. One of them is colored. As a fraction of a quantity, the fraction of the colored fish is 1/10. We can also show the fraction 1/10 on the number line. The fraction 1/10 comes between the numbers 0 and 1. The distance between 0 and 1 is divided into 10 equal parts, and 1/10 is the first part in them. So, we can describe 1/10 in many different ways. In shapes, in fractions, as a fraction of a quantity, and on number line. This is another way about how we write 1/10, and it's called decimals. Now look again at these three pictures. All of them shows 1/10. The first one describes 1/10 using fractions. The second one describes 1/10 using shapes, and the third one describes 1/10 as decimals. And this is our lesson for today. It's about decimals. This number is an example on decimals. This number has three parts: the 0, the dot, and the 7. What's the name of each one of them? Remember that in the previous classes, we studied about the place value table to describe the numbers. We have 4 main digits: the ones place, the tens place, the hundreds place, and the thousands place. This is the place value chart for decimals. Notice that we still have ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. After the ones place, we have the decimal point, and the decimal point as a dot. On the right of the decimal point, we have the tenths place. And the tenths place shows the number of parts that were taken from a whole part, which were divided into 10 equal parts. So in this number below, the number 0 shows the units or the ones place. The dot is the decimal point, and the number 7 shows the 10th digit. And we can read this number from left to right. 0.7. 0 for the unit or the ones place, point for the decimal point, and 7 for the tenths place. Here is one more example, and in this example, you have to write the fraction of the shaded part in fractions and in decimals. There are 4 shaded or colored parts, and there are 10 parts altogether. So the fraction of the shaded parts is 4/10. Now, what about the fraction of the shaded part in decimals? To write the fraction of the shaded part using decimals, we have to remember that decimals are written as 0, decimal point, and the 10th place. We will write 0 because there is no whole colored parts. It's only part of a whole. Since we have 4 colored parts out of 10 parts, then we will write number 4 in the 10th place. So the fraction 4/10 can be written in decimals as 0.4. So again, my students, I can write the fraction 1/10 as 0.1. The first shape is the fraction shape, the second shape is the decimal shape. I can also show my fraction using the place value table. In the ones place, I will write 0. And here is the place of the decimal point, and in the 10th place, it's 1. So I can write 0.1 in the place value table as 0.1. Also, we can use the number line to show the fraction 1/10 or the decimal 0.1. I divide the distance between number 0 and 1 into 10 equal parts. The first line after the 0 shows the fraction 1/10. And we know that 1/10 is same as 0.1. So this line also shows the number 0.1. Now write each of the following numbers as decimals. 7/10 is same as 7 out of 10. So it can be written as 7/10. And 7/10 is same as 0.7. In the second example, we have 9/10. 9/10 is the same as 0.9. And now try to write the fraction 10/10 as a decimal. Remember that 10/10 equal 1 whole. We can write 10/10 in the place value table in the 10th place. There are 10 tenths. And because 10/10 equal 1 whole, so we can regroup the 10/10 to become 1 whole or 1 and write it in the units or ones place. So 10/10 or 1 whole can be written as 1 unit. Now how can we write the fraction 15/10 as a decimal? Again, we can use the place value table to show the 15/10. 15/10 will come in the 10th place in the place value table. Remember that 10/10 equal 1 unit. So we can take 10/10 from here to make 1 unit. Now only 5 units were left. So our new number is 1 unit and 5/10. And don't forget the decimal point in the middle. We can read this number as 1.5. Now how can we write 3 units and 4/10 as decimals? We can use the place value table to show 3 units and 4/10. in the unit place we will write the number 3. And here we have the decimal point. In the 10th place we will write the number 4. So 3 units and 4 tenths as decimals is 3.4. Now write these numbers as decimals. 8 units and 2 tenths. 6 and 3 tenths. In the first one, we can say that 8 units means 8. And 2 tenths means 2. And because we will write as decimals, so we must have the decimal point in the middle. So our number is 8.2. To write the number 6 and 3 tenths as a decimal, we start by writing the number 6 in the unit place. 3 tenths is same as 0.3. So, the number 6 and 3 tenths is 6 plus 0.3 or 6.3. Now open your workbook on page 58 and let's do together question number 3. Write a decimal number for each of the following. In the first one, in the unit place we have nothing, which means 0. And in the 10th place we have 6. So we can write this number as 0.6. In the second example, there are 4 units and 2 tenths. So we can write this number as 4.2. On the third example, there are 3 tenths, 1 unit, and 4 tenths. Let's answer this question in 2 steps. We have 3 in the tenths place and 1 in the units place, which means the number 31. 3 tenths and 1 unit equal 31. Now let's go back to the tenths. We have 31 units and 4 tenths, so we can write this number as 31.4. In the last example, we have 5 tenths only, no units, and 6 tenths. Also, we will answer this example into 2 steps. 5 tenths and 0 units equal 50. Now go back to the tenths and write the whole number together as a decimal. 50.6. This is the end of our math period for today. Your homework is to do page 57 in your workbook. I am waiting for you to share your answers with me on the group. Hope to see you soon. See you next time and goodbye.